Okay, we all know Title Update 4 was released for the Division 2. I posted a video basically reviewing the gunner specialization, and I had someone complain saying, oh, you didn't even take the time to upgrade it and all the stuff like that. That's because it wasn't a review on a maxed out gunner specialization, it was a review on the actual specialization itself, and the video is titled, like, it's not as tanky as it should be. That's nothing to do with the boosted damage that you get from one of the perks. That is purely based on, when they was talking about it during State of the Game, they said that it's going to make you feel really tanky, and it has to do that because you can't take cover, you can't combat roll. And the way the bonus armor works on this specialization is the more ammo you have for the minigun, the more bonus armor you get. So say you've got 2 full mags, 150 round mags, you've got 2 of them full, that's your max specialization ammo. You've got 300 rounds, you've got the most armor possible. If you spray an entire mag into an enemy, you switch out then switch back, you've got half of that armor, so therefore you're less tanky already just by using the gun. And then, in my opinion, to make things even worse, is if you're getting hit by the enemies, which chances are you're going to be an easy target because you're not behind cover. When enemies shoot at you and they deplete some of your armor, if you lose all of that bonus armor, I don't know if switching out and switching back gives you the armor again, but if you lose all the blue armor you haven't switched, even if you chuck a chem launcher down on the floor, it doesn't give you any of that bonus armor back. So to me, they should have done things different. They had 2 weeks to test it in PTS. They should have done something different to actually make players feel tanky. If you go into Division 1, you set yourself up for a certain gear set, you feel powerful. Each different gear set makes you feel powerful. And I know this is a specialization, but when they're saying they're going to be focusing on one thing, so this gunner is supposed to make you feel tanky, it's a tanky specialization, it doesn't do that. So it's a bit of a disappointment, but trust me, I'm not complaining. This is purely my opinion. I'm not hating towards the devs, I'm just putting my opinion out there on things I think they should change and what I believe is done good, because at the end we have pros to this update as well. Not only that, but I've seen Cray's video, he did a video saying it's broken already. If we take a look at the top right armor kit perk for this specialization, this is going to make you feel tanky. So obviously if you max it out it could eventually become better, but the base specialization with no perks equipped doesn't feel as good as it should do. But this hardened armor kit's talent, armor kits repair 100% armor and grant 50% bonus armor for 10 seconds. I'm going to link Cray's video in the description because I've watched his video and that's like where I got the understanding of this from. So say you've got a build and you've managed to get 500,000 armor. When you apply an armor kit, you get all of that back even if it's completely gone, like fully depleted, you get all of it back. But then you get 50% on top of that for an extra 10 seconds. So essentially for 10 seconds you're going to have 750,000 armor. It's still insane. If you have a 300,000, that's going to be boosted to 450. It only lasts for 10 seconds, yes, but at the same time, I don't know if it was intended for it to work like that, because if you go into PvP with this on, all you got to do is whack out an armor kit. It's going to be like the armor glitch all over again, or the infinite health glitch. I don't think it's going to be that fun when people are abusing this in PvP. And another thing I don't like the idea of, and this is because the community just constantly moan about stuff in this game. All the projects we used to have where you need to get Unwavering, Unhinged, Frenzy, there's different specific talents you need to get in order to complete a weekly. They have now all been removed from the game and those projects have been reset. So the one I have, I need to get Badger Tough gear, I need to donate knee pads and assault rifles. I donated 10 assault rifles that I farmed, and I now have to go out and do that again. I'm not complaining about having to do that, I'm simply just putting it out there, that's what I need to do. My only complaint about this is the community have got fed up, they're moaning there's no content in the game, but then when there is content that's keeping them going back every single day to grind for these set, like, talents. We'll use Unwavering as the example. They put a weekly project up, you have to go get 3 Unwavering talents. It's not exactly the easiest thing in the game to go and get those talents. I've seen people on Reddit complaining that they were having to go and grind for maybe 6 hours a day every single day for 3 weeks and they still haven't seen a single Unwavering talent. They've kicked off about it, the devs have removed the specific talents from them projects, but at the same time people are moaning there's not enough content in the game, there's nothing for them to do, but when they have to grind and get something they're still complaining. So it's like, what do you actually want from the game? Instead of everyone just jumping down the dev's throat and saying, oh, this is shit, this is broken, this is fucking pointless, I don't like it, I hate it, giving the devs all this shit, give them feedback on what they can actually do, because as I said, this is not a complaint, this is just my opinion. I think they should have worked more with a gunner specialization. But at the same time, I'm not knocking it at all. I will upgrade it, I will max it out, I will use it, I will try my best to have fun with it, but maybe it's a specialization that's not for me. But the people that are going out there and moaning there's not enough content in the game, can you change this, devs, change this, I'm not coming back unless you change this, moaning, there is stuff for you to do in the game, and you're still complaining, therefore the devs have removed it. So it's a lose-lose for the devs. You're constantly just going to moan about it. And I don't want that to come across as me being a dick and sucking the developers' arseholes, because trust me, I'm not. I'm 50-50, I'm neutral. I will give the devs credit where it's due, and I will also back up the community if I feel something is wrong. So don't take me wrong. This is literally just putting my opinion out there, as I said, just sharing my thoughts on it. And I'd also like you guys to do the same. Comments are down below. Another thing that's a little bit of a disappointment is when you go into your knee pads and say you're going for the talent patience. Every single bit of writing now, and even the attribute, like I don't know what you call it, but you get red, blue, yellow, like the attributes themselves. It's no longer got any colour to it. Every single piece of writing and the symbol for that attribute is just white. Yes, they still make it like a red background if it's not usable, but I prefer being able to see the colour. I don't know, that's just a personal preference kind of thing. And the final con before we get into the pros is just the fact that there's not enough new content considering this is a major update. This isn't title update 3.1, 4.1, 3.8. This is title update 4. This should have some new content coming into the game, and a decent amount of it, a couple of different things here and there. The only thing they really have that's new is the exotic holster, which is going to get boring for a lot of you considering it's for a pistol build, and even the people that do enjoy it, it will get boring eventually at some point. And then they've got the gunner specialization, there's like rogue in the ODZ and stuff like that. There's a few different things they've added in, but personally, for a major title update, I don't think it's enough. And not only that, there's been no change to the RNG pools, like there's the new exotic holsters in there now, but apart from that, the RNG, like people have been complaining it's taken them like a month or 2 months to get one piece of gear that's going to have any effect on their build. That hasn't even been looked at, I don't think. So there's a little bit of a letdown, but again, as I said, it gives you something to do. It gives you a reason to play the game. And now into the pros, there's literally only 2. I haven't put a lot of time into this update so far, but the amount of bug fixes they've done, even if some of them do feel kind of irrelevant to the player. If you look at the patch notes, I'll link that in the description as well, there is probably like 70 different bug fixes that are in that list. So yes, they have been working their asses off, and there might not be a lot of content in this because they're going to wait until the first episode, which I believe is coming next month. But yes, I think it's amazing that they're actually focusing on bug fixes. I've still come across the sound bugs. Some of them that have been there from launch, I've still come across them since Title Update 4, where sound cuts out and then catches up again, where there's just no sound. And even the bullet registration that everyone's been complaining about, I've noticed that's become more obvious to me now, because I never really, I didn't think I was experiencing it before, but now it's been brought to my attention by the community, looking into it, and I can see that it does have a massive effect on console, and it's affecting me now as well. But the devs will do things to fix the game in their own time, like 70 odd, that's an estimate, but let's just say there's 70 bug fixes. There's a hell of a lot of them, and that should hopefully now mean there's less bugs for them to fix, there's more time for them to focus on content and things. And the second thing that I believe is a pro is not necessarily that generic mods have been taken out of it, because I know a lot of people were complaining, oh, I've just lost 40% weapon damage on my build and blah blah blah, but mods can now be applied based on their colour. There's not a specific one for slots anymore, so you don't need to, say, have a generic protocol mod or a system protocol, system utility, or whatever they were called. You don't need to have them anymore. They are basically just red, blue, yellow. It doesn't matter which mod you find when you're looting, like playing through the game. Doesn't matter which one you find, as long as it's red, blue, or yellow, it will go in those slots. And also, if you look in your inventory, like if you hold start on console, you go into where all your gear is, you can see your build, you will be able to see the colours of which mods are on that piece of gear now, and I think that's pretty cool. It will save a little bit of time looking through to see which ones are on what pieces of gear. But that's going to be it for the video. I'm now going to go and grind and get myself the exotic holster so we can come back and review it. I'm hoping it adds a lot of fun to a pistol build. I've enjoyed using a pistol in the past. But as I said, for now, that's going to do it. So let me know all your thoughts and stuff in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.